Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Remember, you all have to agree. I need 3 unison votes tonight.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Board of Selectmen's call to order May 25th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Approve the May 11th, 2023 Selectmen's meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor? 3, public forum. This is an opportunity for anyone who wants to address the Board of Selectmen with anything that's other than what's on the agenda this
Remember, you
evening.
all have to agree. I need 3 unison votes tonight.
You have to come up to the, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Board of Selectmen's call to order
So the
May
folks at home
25th,
with the Zoom
2023
can,
at 6
can hear you.
p.m.
Yes, just like to introduce myself. My name is
Approve the
George
May
Bentley.
11th,
I'm running for selectman
2023
in
Selectmen's
3 or 4
meeting minutes.
weeks
So moved.
against
Second.
Mary
I have a
Beth.
first and a second.
And
All in
just
favor?
want to introduce myself to you and to the people who might be watching the show.
Uh,
While I'm here, I'd
3,
like to
public
thank
forum. This is an opportunity for
Lori and
anyone
some of the other folks in town,
who
including
wants
Tracy, who
to
have
address the
spent
Board of
time with me,
Selectmen with anything that's other
setting me up
than
for
what's on the
the
agenda this
paperwork and
evening.
everything to run. And also to spend a little time with me on
You
different
have to
functions
come
of
up
the
to
town.
the,
That's all I
mic,
have,
please.
unless you,
did you want to tell us
So
a
the
little bit
folks
about
at home
yourself?
with the Zoom can.
I certainly could if you want. I could go on
just
quite
like
a
to
bit,
introduce
but,
myself. My name is
basically,
George Bentley.
The product of
I'm
the
a
military
running for
family in 3 or 4 weeks, for the most part, in Western
Mary
Europe
Beth.
at military bases. Just want to introduce
When I
myself
was
to you
15,
and
my,
to the people who might be watching the show.
My father retired.
While I'm here, I'd like
and
to
came
thank
to
Nassau
Lori
College
and some of the other
in
folks in
Sanford,
town,
including Tracy,
so
who
I went
spent
to
time with
Sanford
me,
High School.
setting me up for
And once I
the
graduated,
paperwork
went
and
to
everything
school
run in Wellesley, Massachusetts,
and also
to
to
spend a
Babson
little time
College.
with me on different
Good
functions
school.
of the town. That's all
I thought
have,
so.
unless
It was good for me.
Did you want
went
to
into
tell us a
the Air
little bit
Force,
about yourself?
primarily the Air Force
I certainly
Reserves
could if
for
you
the
want.
next 30
Yeah.
years. I could go on quite a bit, but I'm basically
stumbled into
the product
aviation
of
while I
a
was
military
there.
family.
And
Grew up,
became a
for the
pilot.
most part, in Western Europe at military
People
bases.
Express,
Which was
when
when
I
I
was
was
15,
15. They were good enough
my
to give
father
me
retired
a leave of
and
absence,
came to
and a group of us
Nassau
started
College
up a company called Miami
in
Air
Sanford.
Miami. So I went to
And about that
Sanford
time,
High
my
School.
father had passed away,
And
my
once
mother
I
was up here.
graduated, went to school in
she
Wellesley,
was
Massachusetts,
struggling
at a
at
big house in
college.
Sanford, and had
Good school.
a lot of social life here.
I thought
She
so.
also
It
a
was
social
good
worker
for
at
me.
Sweetser. Went into the Air Force,
So, we got
primarily the Air
together
Force
and
Reserves for
bought,
the
a house
next
here in
30
Kennebunkport,
years. Port. And
which became
kind of
the
stumbled
focus
into
of my life
aviation
for the
the
last
last 27
there.
years, and she was here
And,
permanently,
became
and
a
I would
pilot.
be in and out as I flew.
Flew
Generally, I
People
was
Express,
2 to 3 weeks
which
on
was
the
brought
road
up
by Continental. And they were good enough to give me
About a year
leave of
ago, I had a
absence, and
medical
group of us
event.
started up a company
the
called
first time
Miami
in my
Air.
life,
I
I've
had
had
some free time.
And about that time, my
And
father had
thankfully,
passed
I
away, and my mother
recovered
was
from
up
that.
here.
But, she
this
was
was an
struggling
opportunity
in a
for
big
me
house in
to,
Sanford,
return
and had,
to
a lot of social life
and the
here. She
people
was
here,
also
some
a
of the,
social worker at Sweetser. Things they've done for me
So
over the
when we
last
got
25
together,
years,
we
and
bought,
particularly for my house here in
for my mother.
Kennebunkport. It's been a great place to live.
Which became
and,
the focus of my
kind
life
returned
for the last
27
the
years. And
community.
she was here permanently,
Some
and
of the
I would be in
benefits
and out as I
that,
flew.
they've
Given me and my mother over the years.
Thank you very much.
Very
Yeah, that's a
good.
basic summary. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else for public forum?
Along those lines, I just wanted to let everyone know that absentee voting is happening now. So you can either come to Town Hall to pick up ballots or call me at 967-1610 and I can mail it to you. So,
You're going to be busy.
yes, I hope so.
Thanks, Tracy. Anybody else, public forum? What about in TV land? Okay.
Alan, I have a question on a public, maybe to Tracy. If people have questions about what's on the ballot and just the information on the referendums, et cetera, there's a place on the town website that they can go.
Yes.
Could we just mention that to folks now so
Sure.
they know?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's on the town's website under the town clerk page, and it's under elections and voting, and there's links to all of the documents. It shows the strikeouts in the ordinance language and the additions, so people can see exactly what's coming in and going out. And it also has sample ballots, a copy of the warrant, the school warrant, everything related to the election is right on that page.
Perfect. And I think there's also frequently asked questions concerning the town boat ramp as well. So that's
Yes, there
good,
is.
good to know.
Yep,
Thank you.
all
Yep.
6 questions are covered there.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Anybody else? Okay. Presentation of the town report. This is a very special occasion. We do this once a year to special people that we know that's worked hard in our community for different boards, committees, and whatever. And I'm really happy tonight to tell James
The family.
Cheyenne and Betsy. I'd like to read this. Let's see. Each year, as we decide to whom we should dedicate the town report, we are amazed at the amount of fantastic people in our community. This was exemplified in Jim Fitzgerald. The news of Jim's passing was shocking to many. Born in Baltimore, Maryland, and raised in Wildwood Crest, New Jersey, Jim moved to Maine after serving in the Air Force. Jim flew B-52 bombers throughout the Vietnam War, first reporting to Craig Air Force Base in Selma, Alabama, then on to Guam, and remaining in southern Vietnam for the remainder of the war. After first moving to the Portland area, Jim made his way to Kennebunkport in 1997, where he met the love of his life, Betsy. They were married in Cape Porpoise and had one daughter, Cheyenne. Jim was not only committed to serving his country, but also his local community. He was a resident of Kennebunkport from 1997 until his passing in December of 2022. He was a committed volunteer on a number of town boards and committees, including the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Growth Planning Committee, where he served as vice chair. In addition to his work with the town, he was a member of the Kennebunkport Business Association, served as president of the Kennebunkport-Arundel Chamber of Commerce, and on the board of directors for the Kennebunkport Heritage Housing Trust. He served as the chair of the York County Community College Board of Directors and was a board member of United Way of York County and chair of the annual United Way Appeal in 2009, earning the Ellis Kittredge Award in 2015 for his work with the organization. His generosity and passion for giving back to the community will be remembered, as well as his kindness, sense of humor, and warm nature. So I'd like to present the first town report. This is the only one we have. We're waiting for the rest of it, but they were kind enough to be able to, kind enough to be able to go ahead and give us one. So,
Alan.
okay,
Yes. Thank you.
thank you.
Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I just wrote a little something.
Oh,
Sure.
by all means.
Okay.
You can pull it right down.
Okay. Oh. So my name's Cheyenne Scola. I'm Jim Fitzgerald's daughter. My mother is Betsy Fitzgerald. My husband and my two little boys wanted to be here along with my mom, but it was just going to be too much for them. So I just want to thank you guys for honoring my father tonight. If he was here right now, he'd definitely be cracking a joke right now to lighten the mood. Always putting a smile on everyone's face. As most of you know, my dad was involved within the community. He worked for the Chamber of Commerce. He led the real estate market alongside my mother, Betsy Fitzgerald, and myself, and always had a strong passion for helping others and giving back, whether he was volunteering at Habitat for Humanity, leading the tree lighting at Christmas Prelude, or voicing opinions on a local committee. As much as he was involved in the community, he was also very much a family man. There was nothing he enjoyed more than being with the people he loved most. Sitting in the backyard at home with my mom and I at the she shed, watching the birds fly around, or throwing the ball to their dog, Frankie. He was one of a kind man, and if you got the chance to meet him, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He always left a mark in the most positive way. He loved his family, traveling the world, and his unwavering commitment to the Kennebunks. Dad was loved by all within the community, but most importantly, by my mother, myself, and my boys. Thank you for honoring him tonight.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
Thank you very much. Item 5, public hearing to consider the applications for vigilance licenses for the period from June 1, 2023 through May 31st, 2024. I'm going to open up the public hearing. Is there anybody that wishes to comment on this? Is there anybody out in the Zoom land? No hands are raised. I will close the public hearing. What I'd like to do is go ahead and vote for the whole slate, since everything's been all approved.
So-
Fire, police, and,
Yeah. Well, one thing I just want to note about the slate, what amazed me is how many of these restaurants have been here for years.
I know,
It's just, I looked through this, and 98% of them I've eaten at. You know,
Yeah.
it's just really amazing. It says a lot about the solidity of our town.
it certainly does.
And the commitment of these businesses. So what a privilege to be able to. vote.
And for the public to support them as well.
Yes.
Not only during the season, but off-season,
Right,
which is
right.
when they need you.
Right on.
So, do I have a first?
I will approve the motion.
I will second it.
Okay, need more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Thank you. 6, consider renewing the following liquor licenses. I'm not gonna vote them all together, we'll just do one at a time. Noonan's Lobster Hut,
So moved.
Second.
I have a first and a second, all in favor? Okay, B, First Serve Edgewater Inc., Mabel's House located at 126 Ocean Avenue,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor? C, First Serve Edgewater Inc., Mabel Lobster Claw located at 126 Ocean Avenue,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor? Okay, motion carries. 7, consider renewing liquor and special amusement licenses for the Nonanum Resort Seaside Hotel Association Partnership located at 95 Ocean Avenue. Staff recommends approval of the liquor and special amusement license.
So moved.
Second.
The first and second, all in favor? 8, award the bid for the sale of a 2012 International truck. And here comes Chris.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
So on April 11th, we put our 5-ton dump truck out to bid, the one that was in rotation for this year to be replaced. We put it out on Facebook town website, as well as Maine Municipal's website. We only received one bid. That bid was from the town of Arundel, and it was for $22,599. We did check around. Allegiance Truck and Saco advised that their current retail price for that truck was going to be around $18,000. O'Connor Western Star, who is actually going to be supplying our new truck that's coming in shortly, also said it was their retail price would be around $18,000. So based on that, I would recommend accepting the bid from the town of Arundel for $22,599.
So moved.
Yeah, I guess I second it. Second.
The first and second, any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
It was a good bid.
It was.
it was a good
It
bid.
was, yeah.
Pardon me. Consider a lease agreement for JCB excavator.
So every year, we've typically rented an excavator from anywhere from 4 to 6 months to accomplish some of the work that we need to do around town that we can't typically do with a backhoe, just because the backhoe's not as maneuverable. We can't get into different spots with it. So annually, that monthly rental cost has been anywhere from $3,900 to about $4,800 a month. So, you know, in a year, that's about $23,700 to $28,962 a year. Last year, we rented a JCB excavator from Alta Equipment. They actually offered a lease this year. It was a 6-year lease at a cost of $1,633.51 per month. So that amounts to $19,602.12 annually. So the benefit to the lease is that we're actually paying less in the year to lease it than we are for renting it, and we have the benefit of actually having it for the entire year rather than just a portion of the year. The responsibility for the maintenance on it would be us. This is for a brand-new machine. I think one of the benefits behind that is that, you know, we would know who is operating and maintaining that machine. And at the lease end, the town would have the option to buy that at market value. I can't give you a figure right now as to what that is, but the most recent machine that they just sold off lease that was similar to this was $28,000. The lease does come with a non-appropriation clause, so if you folks decided that you didn't want to fund it in the future, we can back out of that lease.
So what does this actually cost if you were to buy it outright?
This machine outright right now, I believe he said was just about $180,000.
I think this is a great idea. It's a
Oh, yeah.
It's a no-brainer, really.
It's a no-brainer.
It does, it would save us money annually. And like I said, we would have the machine for the year. You know, typically when we rent the machine, I'm always trying to schedule that work that's dedicated for the machine. However, we don't always have the time to dedicate, you know, using the machine during that time period because other things come up. You know, we have to push some things off. So it would be nice having this year round so that we can come back to it and not have that pressure of having to use that machine in a dedicated time period.
And so you use this machine for ditches and things of that nature, right?
Yes, Alan, so we use it for ditching. You know, we use it roadside, so like last year, during the paving, we would go ahead of the pavers, change out any of the drainage that we need to change out, catch basins, you know, cross culverts, anything like that. You know, we've used it to replace a sewer main on Pearl Street 2 years ago. So we use it for a variety of things.
So we could rent it to the sewer department.
Recoup our money now. What's the pleasure?
Just
of the board?
19,000.
I move that we agree to the lease agreement for the JCB excavator.
Second.
You want to put the amount in there?
What is the amount?
So the amount is $1,633.51 per month. That's $19,602.12 annually.
And how long is the lease for?
It's for 72 months.
Thank you.
So I have a first.
And a second.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
He's still up here for
Not
a
gonna let
while.
him go.
Oh,
yet.
here we go.
I told
I've
Alan
got
I
a
had to
couple
keep you
coming
busy
up.
tonight.
Yep.
What's that?
I told Alan that I had to keep you guys busy tonight. so-
Yeah, really.
Item 10, consider funding parking lot repair for Colony Beach.
So during the December 23rd and the January 23rd storms that we had, I think everybody's very familiar with that. The parking lot at the Colony Beach sustained a lot of damage. We lost a lot of the sub-base material in that parking lot. You know, at this point in time, the parking down toward the jetty has narrowed up to a point where there's actually no room for a vehicle to turn in and park. They have to kind of park as if you were pulling down the driveway, you know, parallel to the back wall. A lot of the cobble that was down on the beach has washed up. It's live. That's typically, and that was deposited where people would typically park. But you can't park a car there now because they will get stuck. We did go down and take a look at it with Army Corps of Engineers. We pushed back some of the cobble just to get an idea of, you know, how much of the sub-base material we lost. You know, the estimate that we came up with is just about 1,000 yards. The discussions with Army Corps of Engineer were basically that, you know, their structure is still intact and it kind of doesn't, you know, affect what their responsibility is there. So they don't appear to be interested in funding any part of that right now. So I did put an estimate together, should you folks consider funding that to repair the parking lot. We would probably propose a joint project because Public Works doesn't have all the equipment that we need to do this project. We would need a vibratory roller and a bulldozer. So the extent of the work that the Public Works Department would do is to go back down and pull all that cobble back down off the parking lot and deposit it back down on the beach. And then we'd have to have, you know, near 1,000 yards of Class A packing gravel brought in. And we would probably subcontract with a contractor that has a bulldozer and a vibratory roller. I did get some estimates from local contractors, and we're looking at about $5,500 for 2 days. That would be the mobilization charge, a bulldozer and a vibratory roller, and 2 operators for those machines. And then the gravel itself, we're looking at, you know, 1,000 yards, which ends up being about $31,125 delivered. So I think we're going to be in the estimate of $36,000 to about $40,000 to make those repairs to the parking lot.
So, and how long do you think it might take?
So we'd have to complete it in 2 days. That would be the estimate that we received from the contractors. They felt it could be done in 2 days. We would have to go with Pike Industries. I did reach out to Dayton Sand and Gravel. They can only commit 1 truck. That 1 truck is not going to be enough to feed the bulldozer that's there. Pike is able to commit many more trucks, and they said they could get all that material delivered to us within the 2 days and keep the bulldozer fed. So.
Well, Colony Beach is is a really important beach for us.
Oh, yeah, we can't lose it. So I think it's important that we make every effort to bring it back to where it was.
Okay.
Yep.
And just another note to go along with it, you know, permitting at this point, we haven't resolved the permitting aspect of it. Army Corps of Engineers is looking into that right now. So I don't yet have, you know, a time for you as to when we could complete that.
We don't need a motion.
So we, you know, in terms of funding it, this wasn't in the budget, but we do have contingency funds under the selectmen's discretion that we could use towards this. So I think we'd want to know before year end that you want to dedicate those funds towards that. I did reach out to Army Corps again this week. I have not heard back from them. And, but we would follow up with the permitting if you guys are in agreement.
Oh, I agree.
Did we look at all at what it would mean to harden it to erosion, to what the cost would be to put a larger pieces of granite or a steel wall? I mean, my concern, and again, it's got the kind of different ways we can look at it, but I believe there are pretty good odds that we'll get a similar storm within, you know, well, who knows how many years,
Sure.
but there'll be a similar storm. The question is, do we wait and just fix it now, let a storm, if it comes, wash it out again, and then talk about whether we're going to harden it? Or do we look at the costs of what it would be to harden it now? And what the consequences of that would be. And I imagine that'd be considerably more money, but I'd kind of like to have some idea of what kind of money it would be and what would be possible to make that more resistant. Right now, it's just really a pretty soft target.
Sure.
It's just gravel and fill, and there's absolutely nothing to stop the erosion.
So I did not look into armoring it or doing any type of sheet piling or anything like that. That's certainly something that I can do and bring back to you folks.
I think the challenge is, in order to do that correctly, we would need to hire an engineering firm. And so, with the funding we have available in contingency, I guess the question is whether you want to spend that on engineering and continue to have the parking lot in its current form, or whether you want to try and make these repairs. And so we're just,
Is it really that much to have the engineering? I don't know what engineering studies are, but would it
they would
be?
want to do some geotechnical down there, I would assume.
So it's the tens of thousands, it's not a few thousand?
We are having somebody walk through 6 Elm Street to look at this from a structural aspect,
Yeah.
and it's costing me $5,000. So,
Reality's a bitch.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So all I'm saying is, unfortunately, we can go get a price from an engineering firm about what they would cost, and I'd want to do that, but I'm thinking it's going to be in the tens of thousands. Yeah.
I would prefer to fix it now and in the next budget year or whatever, to go ahead and go a little bit further and strengthen it then. Because if we don't
Because
do it.
we'll lose
now-
it.
Right, I mean, that's a very important beach. And so many people use that beach, and right now, I think we've lost how many parking spots?
Well, more than a dozen probably at this point.
Probably two-thirds, almost, yeah, at least half, if not more. Yeah.
I would like to see it fixed. And then, but on John's behalf, I do agree with what he just said. I think in the very near future, hopefully next year, maybe we might be able to go ahead and figure out how we can, I mean, maybe these big granite blocks, something that breaks the waves up before it hits the beach,
Right.
Sure.
you know.
Let's understand what our options are, but all right, I'd like to see it fixed too, obviously. It's an important beach to the town, so.
I just think that, the more we change it, the more the permitting is gonna be as well. So we could call Woodard and Curran and have them go down and give us an analysis of what they think it would take, for a cost estimate. That doesn't cost us anything.
Yeah, that would be, yeah, it would at least
Right,
move it one step further to
Well, we'd have a bigger idea
what's
about what
the
it would.
inevitable, I'm afraid.
And we
Let's-
still have to resolve the permitting issue even to just replace what's
Yeah.
there, so.
Yeah.
It's not like we're gonna go out next week and do it anyway.
Right.
So I think that the three of us are pretty much in favor of fixing the beach.
Okay.
And then move on from there, I guess.
Yep.
With John's idea about how are we gonna stop it from happening again.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so 11, request for the street opening permit by George Burr and Sons for Green Street.
Yes, this is for a failed sewer lateral for that residence. The lateral is an old clay lateral.
I'm not sure what a lateral is.
So a sewer lateral is the sewer pipe that runs from your house out to our gravity main in the street.
Okay.
And that's what failed. So that pipe is actually the responsibility of the homeowner by Maine state law. The pipe is clay. It's at a point where it cannot be slip lined. So the street, it's necessary to dig it up and replace it. So, we would just, I think the conditions would be that after the street cut is made, George Burns Sons would, backfill that and compact it properly and base that cut back in with 2 inches of pavement. And then a year from now, come back and mill 25 feet on either side of that cut and overlay the whole, that whole 50-foot section. Unfortunately, our sewer lateral is on the other end of this, on the other side of the street from the residence, so that cut will be across the entire street. So that's why I would say that they should, come back next year, mill 25 feet on either side, and then overlay the whole thing.
When was the last time it was paved?
I don't remember the last time the road was paved, but it's been quite a while.
So it's out of the moratorium, obviously. yeah.
Yes, yep,
And you're okay with it?
I am okay with it.
It's a pleasure of the board.
Move to give them the opportunity to an open permit for Green Street.
Second?
Have a first and second. Any more discussion? No? Hearing none? All in favor?
Thank you.
Okay. Item 12, request the street opening permit by Brooks Corp. For the Colony Avenue.
So this is, I think they're looking at the future expansion at the Colony Hotel. So what they're requesting to do is actually install a manhole and a sewer stub, for their future expansion. We don't necessarily have an issue with them doing it. We know that the road was just base paved down there. It's gonna require cutting that pavement again, installing a sewer manhole, and then sewer extension over to, their property where the future expansion's gonna be. They were supposed to overlay the road, before the July 4th, holiday. My recommendation would be after they, install this, manhole and the sewer extension, that they base pave it back in and we allow that to sit for a year, so we can get it through a freeze-thaw cycle, and then overlay next year. With the recent concerns down on South Main Street that we've heard about, over the last month, we do have a design for the intersection of Colony Avenue, Arlington Avenue, and South Main Street intersection. And basically that design would be to narrow that intersection up. And that may be a project that we would want to consider for next year. And if we do, it would make sense to hold off this overlay until next year so that we could overlay the entire road and it's,
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that
in full.
dovetails. It dovetails with
Right.
that.
We wouldn't have a cold joint in the road.
Yeah.
It would be overlaid all at the same time. So I think we would just have to work out, how we could hold that money, in an escrow account, for the overlay that they were planning next month and use that next year.
Okay,
Yep.
what's the pleasure?
I guess,
Go with the recommendation.
go with the recommendation to offer them the permit.
I second it.
Colony Ave.
Is that your motion?
That is my motion.
I second it.
First,
And can I just add one more thing? So this is gonna require a street closure as well. So Brex has been asked to submit a, traffic control plan. And then, of course, we would pass
How
this.
long do you think?
I think they had told me that they were gonna be able to complete this, they're saying Wednesday, May 31st.
2 days, it looks like.
Yeah, 2 days, and Thursday the 1st.
Okay.
But they're gonna open it in the evening, correct?
Yes, and they will, if emergency traffic needs to get in there, they will open it for that.
Okay. I made my
have a
motion.
first.
And I still keep my second.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. First and second, any more discussion?
Nope.
All in favor? Thanks, Chris.
Okay, thank you.
Job well done.
Thank you.
Okay, item 13, authorize quitclaim deed to Jessica Hughes, map and lot 008-002-008. I'm looking for a motion.
So we had foreclosed
I'm
on
looking
this.
for an explanation.
We
Oh,
had
okay.
foreclosed on this property due to unpaid sewer bills. And so those have all been paid in full, all taxes are paid in full. And so we are recommending that we authorize a quitclaim deed.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Item 14, appoint Lori Willett to the Conservation Commission with an expiration date of July 2023. And the reason for such a short appointment is because we only we're getting ready to go ahead and renew all the appointments in July.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, all in favor? 15, appoint Judson Starr to the Cemetery Commission with the expiration date of July 2023.
For the same reason, it's
For the
July 2023. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Item 16, accept donations towards the general nurses account. A, $50 from an anonymous donor. And B, $100 from Kristen Bergeron.
So moved.
Bergeron, sorry.
Yep, gratefully seconded.
First and second, all in favor?
Whoops. Thank you very much.
Okay, item 17, accept the $5,000 donation from the Tommy McNamara Charitable Foundation for Parks and Recreation Scholarship Fund. I think Sheila would like to say something about that.
Yes, I want to thank the committee, the Thomas McNamara Charitable Foundation Committee, for their yearly, it seems to be a yearly donation of the $5,000 to the rec department. Tommy was a friend of my son's, and very much into the sports and, getting kids together just on a whim to play wiffle ball and/or baseball or softball or something like that. And he was a good boy. And so it's nice for the town and for the McNamara Charitable Foundation to bring it together, to bring the town together for more of what he enjoyed. So we're very appreciative of them.
It's a lovely thing, yep.
So can I have a motion?
A motion to accept.
Yeah, again, gratefully seconded.
First and second, all in favor? Thank you. Other business, John?
Nothing, thank you.
Any business?
Nothing from me.
No? Boss?
I was just gonna ask Yanita Nicholas if she wanted to come speak about the candidates' night we're gonna have Tuesday, May 30th, that she's been working on with the library.
I'm very prepared to speak about it. Thank you, Lori. So we will have candidates night on Tuesday, May 30th. It will be at 6 p.m. right here. As you all know, we have 4 candidates. We have 2 Board of Selectmen candidates and 2 candidates for the school board. Lori and I did go to the school board to Kennebunk High School. I think it was high school, right?
Elementary
Oh,
school.
to Kennebunk Elementary School to see the process and just kind of support both of our candidates. So Mary Lou Bukovalis will be the moderator for the candidates night. She is preparing some questions, and I think she's very excited, and she's getting ready to jump into the candidates night. We did send out emails asking citizens to send out some questions if they have any questions. I'm not sure if she received any, but I hope, we wanted to give this chance to everyone, so I hope she received some. And we'll be happy to see you. Please come on May 30th.
And if you can't come in person,
That's right. So, thank you, Lori. If you cannot come in person, we will also have option for Zoom, just like the Board of Selectmen meetings. I will post Zoom link tomorrow, just so it doesn't get lost in other mail. And I will send out a reminder that Tuesday, so everybody will have access and chance to participate and see and make their choices. So
What time was that again?
it was at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And we are hoping to have about hour and a half. I think that's what Mary Lou is hoping to do. So mark
Good.
your calendars.
Good job. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Anything else?
Well, I have one thing that I just thought of. In 2 weeks, at our selectmen's meeting, we are going to be going over the warrants for the vote on
the 13th.
on the 13th of June. Thank you. And so anybody who has questions about the warrants, please, you're welcome to come to the meeting. You can ask questions. We'll be discussing them and hopefully answer any questions you might have.
And that will, as always, be available via Zoom as well.
Yep,
So,
yep.
but tune in, come in,
Yeah.
be here.
Is that it?
That's it for me.
I have just one thing. Softball will start Wednesday, June 7th at 6 p.m. Anybody's welcome to come and play.
Where?
Parsons Field, right near the school.
In Kennebunkport, because there's a Parsons Field in Kennebunk, and people get
Oh,
confused.
I didn't know that.
Yes, so we're talking the field right by Consolidated School.
The Park and Rec Center, yeah.
Yep, that's all I have. So, who wants to approve the,
Approve the May 25th treasurer's warrant. So moved.
And seconded.
all in favor? Okay, we're going to go into an executive session per MRSA 1-405-6A for discussion of a personal matter. And then we're going to do an adjournment after the fact. Okay, so there was no decisions made whatsoever this evening with the executive session. I'm going to close the executive session. And our next item of business is adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
I have a first and a second, and I don't think there's any discussion on that, is there?
Nope.
All in favor?
Good night,
Night, all.
everybody.
Good night, everybody.
If anybody's there.
Yeah.